Why do you have to make everything so hard? Also, we're going to finish up our series on pre-shave, post-shave. But today is post-shave. Is it hokum or is it actually valid? You decide. Plus, we've got brand new YouTube channel news, a whole bunch of other stuff. So buckle up, Beulah. It's going to be a long one. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome to Sunday. A couple of administrative items real quick. Please don't forget to, number one, come and see us, www.theshavingcadre.com. We feel we are the best shaving cadre and other shaving forum stuff, men's, whatever, on the interweb. So come see us. It's free to join, self-moderated, lots of great people. Also, don't forget Drinks and Daves. Now, there's been a change for that. Drinks and Daves will now be on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. What else? Oh, if you like the content that you see here on this channel, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and ring that little notification bell so you know when new content's coming out. And speaking of YouTube channels, I finally did it. Yes, I told everybody that I was going to start a brand new YouTube channel. It is up and running. There's 3 videos on it right now, and I would really appreciate it if you would go over there, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, because we want to grow that channel. Now, what's the channel about? The channel is it's called Rocks and Roads. So it's going to be a little bit about geology, a little bit about rock hounding, off-roading, so you can see some of the trails that we have in the lovely Southwest, as well as other parts of the country, our RV adventures that we're going to do, and then every once in a while we take the Corvette out and speed around the beautiful Southwest. So please join. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a nice kind of like a travel channel type thing. I'll include the link right down here, but if you don't go to that, just look for Rocks-N-Roads on YouTube. Now, here's the benefit to you joining it. When we do our 2,000 subscriber giveaway, which will be in 100 and some odd subscribers, everybody who joins and everybody who is a subscriber to Rocks and Roads, even right now, will get an extra entry into our watch and our Doc Holiday giveaway. So please, please, please go over and join Rocks and Roads. And like I said, I'll put the link in the description down here. I certainly appreciate those of you that have already joined. And we're going to have more content on that as time goes by. In the summer months, it'll be a little bit sparse because it's just too hot to get out on the trails. But that's maybe when we'll start doing a little bit more rock hunting, maybe. Anyways, so we'll talk about it more in depth at the end of the shave, but last week it was really popular. We did our pre-shave hyper hokum, and this time we're going to do our post-shave hyper hokum, and we'll do that more or less at the end. Now, as far as why do you make it so hard? Well, today I picked my most difficult shave soap, my most difficult shaving brush, and my most difficult razor. Now, when I say difficult, I mean the most challenging. However, let's start off with the shave soap. Shave soap is Mitchell's Wool Fat, the original. I don't have the new one yet. And a lot of people have a hard time lathering this soap. And I've mentioned it before. I don't have any problem with it at all, as you can see. I start out with a very, very dry brush. I mean, just very, very, very lightly moistened. God, I love that word, moist. Anyways, and then just add water very, very slowly. But the biggest thing that I can say about Mitchell's Wool Fat is, number one, if you have a lanolin sensitivity, don't even get near it. But more importantly, instead of trying to lather it right off the puck, where that you get from the store, I grate it. I literally grate the puck back into its container, and I've had zero problems with it, and it just has just a wonderfully, beautifully slick, thick lather. And it's probably one of the best soaps for straight razor shaving. And that leads us into our next difficulty. You know her, you love her. She has injured me more than any other razor ever has, including my Stark Viking. And that is, of course, the queen, the CV Helgestrand MK32. She is the boss, and she has done a number on me, but as long as you're patient with her and you treat her right, she does well. The reason why I think she is so demanding is Swedish steel is very, very tough, very hard. It doesn't flex a lot. Once the bevel is set, that's about all you have to do. But the respect that she requires is huge. Because if you get a little complacent, she'll tear you a new one. Like most straight razors, the angle of attack is very important, but even more so, I think, on a very stiff bladed razor. Should be noted that she's been stropped 30 on linen, 60 on leather, and another 25 on a convex bench strop. Oh, and also I wanted to thank you guys for my little spoiler on what I did different in my shave. And you were right. I switched up my passes a little bit, just trying it out, and I found that it works pretty good. I did that before, where I do my fool's pass on the second pass, and I go from south to north on my second pass, and then go from east to west and west to east on my third pass. I used to do it that way, then I switched it up, and then I thought I'd start doing it again, and it's been fun. So at least that shows me you guys are watching part of my shaves anyways. So you notice that. So I appreciate that. The 2 videos, or the 3 videos that I have currently on Rocks and Roads are we did the Willow Springs 96 Ranch Loop Trail. Nothing too extreme, but we did a little bit of rock hounding. Also, I've got what they call the Boulevard Owl's Head Ranch Trail. That was a little bit more rocky, and that was the first one I did, so the photography is kind of a little goofy, but we're gonna get some different mounts and probably a GoPro camera, because I'm using my cell phone right now, so we'll adjust. And then the third one was a fun video that we did back in December, I think, where it was the holidays, and we have a favorite Mexican food restaurant that is about 40 miles from here. And it travels through the Catalina Mountains on the backside, and then goes through the San Pedro River Valley. Then we came up through the mining town of Superior, and stuff like that. And I kind of sped it up, and that was in the Corvette, and it was a lot of fun. So again, please join, or subscribe, I should say. Well, the Queen is treating me well today. Ugh. Even though this is my toughest combination as far as lathering and stuff like that, I complicated it one more time with the brush, and I'll show you that here once we rinse it off. It is my most expensive brush. It is my most expensive knot, and this thing has been my nemesis since the day I bought it. A beautiful brush, a beautiful knot, very well done by a very well-known knot maker, Lee Sabini. But man, when this thing decides to get selfish, it is not going to release lather. And if it decides it doesn't want to lather, it doesn't want to lather. So I kind of did a triple play today. So anyhow, we're almost there, but we're going to get to the point where we're going to start talking about post-shave. Now, is it hype or is it hokum? Well, as I said in the last video, it's your shave. Do what makes you happy. Don't let anybody tell you not to use this, not to use that. It's your shave. Do what you want. However, if you go back historically, most guys, you know what, I'm going to hold off on that because if I start ignoring her, she will exact her vengeance. So I'm going to get through this pass in this shave, then we'll talk about the post-shave stuff. So I hope everybody's having a nice Sunday. I don't know how many videos, and I apologize. I only did one video last week. And I don't know how many videos I'm going to get to do this week because I've got a bunch of errands to do tomorrow. They're going to take me out all day. And then Tuesday I've got some stuff. I will try, but just lately, you know, as we're getting ready for our vacation trip, things have just been stacking up. But I will certainly do my best. And I honestly can't tell you why I decided to switch up my passes. Just one morning I figured, why not? And I have been in a little bit of a lull during the week as I've been shaving with a DE or an SE almost every day. Not because I don't want to shave with a straight. It's just that I get up rushing around the house to get the dogs ready and get ready for work, and just doesn't happen. Okay, let's see how much cleanup we need. Ugh. Glass smooth. A little bit on the neck, as always. Now this is a part that with this blade doing the cleanup that I have to be real careful. Especially doing the buffing and the windshield wipers. I have to make sure that my angles are exactly right, or there we go. even on the flat blading. But I think most straight razor shavers will agree that Williams and Mitchell's Wool Fat and the CBL Tonsorial are probably amongst the best when it comes to overall slickness and smoothness when it comes to a straight razor shave. Okay, let's talk about post-shave. Okay, as we all know that when we do shave our faces, we are abrading the skin. We are attacking the skin, and we're also removing a boatload of moisture. So post-shave, we got to put it all back. Now, traditionally, our parents and our grandparents would basically shave with a DE or a cartridge razor, some straights, and then they'd rinse their face off, and boom, skin bracer or aqua velva. You got a huge alcohol hit. It smelled wonderful. You slapped your face on and out the door. Because most people at that point thought that shaving was a chore. Now it is a hobby. Now, as a hobby, a lot of people still shave, aftershave, out the door they go. And that's okay. Like I said, it's your shave. Do what you want. However, there have been a lot of items on the market that help in healing the skin, alleviating that monstrous alcohol hit that you get. And one of the best, oh, and by the way, I do need to do a retraction from last week. I said potassium alamate. No, you idiot. It is sodium alamate. Put potassium alamate and it's going to hurt. Anyhow, alum. Now, a lot of people don't use alum, and I've had questions on why use it. Well, it does two things for you. One, it helps seal any micro nicks, because even though you're not bleeding, doesn't mean you didn't destroy or abrade the skin a little bit. Now, it is going to give you a sting, so the next thing that does is that alleviates some of the sting that you get from your fragranted aftershave. So I'm going to let that percolate for a minute. And the thing is, and people do it a bunch of different ways. They spread it on, they rinse it right off. Some people have been known to leave it on. I don't think that's a good idea. But what it also does, and a lot of people use it for seeing how well they did on their shave. So if, in fact, you don't get a lot of sting, well, you had a very smooth shave. But that is not always an indicator. And then biggest thing it's for is antiseptic properties, because you know, there are so many environmental things floating through the air that you have bare skin that you've abraded, that you've assaulted. And if you don't put something on it to help seal that up, it can cause irritation. You know, in the summer months, especially right in here, all of a sudden you get scratchy if you're wearing a shirt and tie. So as a rule of thumb, what I do is I leave alum on while I rinse out my brush. So a minute, 2 minutes, and then I rinse it off. But I rinse it off very, very well. Now, is alum required? No, not at all. I find that it really helps me and it tightens the skin a little bit. And, you know, when you're like me and you're 467 years old, look at me. I don't look a day over 50. I'm kidding. I'm 60. But I have noticed since I started, because I never used to use any of these products. In fact, I was on the Hocum train. I said, oh, come on, give me a break. I don't need all that. Then I started noticing that, yeah, it works. And I use all these things in my shop on my clients that I shave because it helps return the moisture and return the smoothness of the skin when you're going post-shave. So that's the first thing. Use alum, not use alum. Somebody had asked me what I use. To me, alum is alum. I mean, Peraza makes an alum. Osma makes the one that most people use. The one that I find the most value is I got on Amazon. It's by Parker. It's a huge thing. And I don't know how much it is, but make sure it is sodium alamate. So now the alum is going to dry the skin a little bit while it's tightening. So you need something else to put some moisture in. 90% of people will go right to the aftershave. That's okay. A lot of aftershaves now, you have alcohol-based aftershaves and non-alcohol-based aftershaves. Most of the non-alcohol-based aftershaves are a component of witch hazel. And if you looked at my counter, you'd see I've tried probably every witch hazel known to man. I'm going to use CBL Litsea cubeba today. And witch hazel is, I think, a must. It is one of the most healing properties on any type of post shave thing, and whether it be CBL, Quinn's, or Thayer's, and I use them all. But what it does is it adds some moisture back into the skin, and to me, it preps me for my aftershave. Now, again, if you don't want to use any of this stuff, don't use any of this stuff. But if you want your face and your shave, you spend 20, 30 minutes shaving, and it's a hobby that you love, why not have your skin feel the best it possibly can? So the next step is the aftershave. That's a whole plethora of stuff. Yes, a plethora, jefe. You'll get the movie reference. So do you use a balm? Do you use a gel? Do you use a splash? Or do you use a combination of all of them? I have been testing and using in the shop the Gillette Aftershave Gel. Very, very happy with it. Very lightly scented, but it is in a gel format. I'm not using it today. But the other one is Nivea 2-in-1. It's not a gel, but it's a mixture of two different components. I don't have any left. That's why I'm not using it. A lot of people will use that post witch hazel and post aftershave splash, because the aftershave splash usually has the fragrance that you want to be light, if you're not going to use a parfum or an EDT, or as the first layer of that. Balms are the same way. Some people are very sensitive to alcohol, and in the winter months, your skin dries out, so use a balm. I use a balm a lot of times with different shaves, and there's a perfect example. That is a balm. Then you have an aftershave milk. This is an aftershave milk. This is an aftershave milk. All of these have different properties. Now, some of the aftershave milks, for instance, in CBL stuff, has witch hazel already in it. So can you not use the witch hazel? Sure. But after a while, you get into a habit of what you want to use. Now, one thing I noticed with the witch hazel is it starts really smoothing out the skin. So I'm using a gel today because of all the different stuff I'm using. And I'm using my absolute favorite gel. It does have silk proteins in it. It's harder to find, but it's by Omega, and it's Via Barbieri. And this is the Aquay. And this has got a very light scent, but that's all you use. That's the one thing I love about the gels, is they go on fairly thick, but there's very rarely any sting. You're just left with the fragrance. And it has silk proteins in it, so it makes your skin feel really small. And I'm not paid by any of these companies. This is just what I prefer. However, I've got, well, I'll have to do it, but all these are aftershaves and colognes and stuff like that. So I use a bunch of different stuff. Okay, so the final component before the parfum is talc. Do you use talc? Do you not use talc? Now, I know that a lot of people that have watched my channel for years have noticed that I use talc all the time. Why is that? Because that's the barber way. It seals the shave in humid climates. It keeps you from becoming what I call burrito face, where you have a lot of oils coming out because the sweat mixed with your sebum, and it just gets nasty. You wipe your face and it's shiny. No. What the talc does is the talc seals that shave, and as a barber, I use it because it's the final step, and it just makes your skin feel just silky. What talc to use? That's up to you. This is the standard, Pinard Clubman, but there's so many others. Parasso has some. I guess Flores now has some. Thanks, P-Beat, for telling me that. Or not thank you, because now I'm going to spend money. Yardley, everybody's got a talc. Some of them are vintage, some are not. Most of them, talcum was derived from the grinding of rocks. Most of it's cornstarch now, because some yahoo said, oh, it causes cancer, like everything else does. So there is the talc. So that's pretty much the end of the shave, except for the parfum. But I wanted to bring up my other nemesis, and that's right, the Morrison Fordran Apollina with the Lee Sabini Badger 3 silver tip. Beautifully gel-tipped, wonderful, luxurious brush, but it has a personality. And the personality is, do I feel like working today, or do I not feel like working today? Today, she did very well, or he did very well, whatever the hell it is. But Wonderful brush. My most expensive brush. I always wanted one, but it is a nemesis of mine. And on the wrong soap, you're just fighting futility. But today with Mitchell's Wool Fat, again, a hard soap, it worked great. Okay, now the choice of parfum versus non-parfum, that's up to you. Again, it's a post-shave thing. Today, like I said, I was all over the board today. Today, I'm going to be using a very cherished fragrance that was given to me, or actually was purchased for me in London by Nurse Dave, and that's Floris Isle. This was a limited edition, and I guess you can get it somewhere, but it was a limited edition it brought together 3 Scotch distilleries. So you do have some smokiness, some peatiness, and some other stuff as well. And it is just, it's wonderful. It's absolutely great. Okay, guys, so what's your thoughts? Please put it in the comments. Is post-shave stuff hyper Hocum? For me, I started out on the Hocum side, and I migrated over to the hype side. I think every single thing is worth it. Part of it probably is because when I became a barber, I started using more of the stuff, and I started seeing how my client's skin feels, the tautness of it, and in my opinion, other than genes that you got from your parents, it'll keep you younger. So let's have a discussion about that. What do you think? I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave Shaves and Such. Hope you enjoyed it. And once again, please don't forget to subscribe to Rocks and Roads. I'll put that down in the description. Have a blessed Sunday, folks, and we'll see you again really soon. Take care.